Comrades and friends of Labour, I come here tonight to make a few points, to address some salient issues. One is of representation. What makes someone a good representative, what you should look for. I want also to talk about some of the major issues in this campaign. And I want to give you some evidence that the NDP campaign is falling apart. It is clear to me, going around the country, I've been going around the country, and I've been watching and listening. And I come to this business after 36 years as a candidate in elections. There's no person in politics in St. Vincent who has participated as a candidate in every single election since independence, save and except Ralph. So that I can feel when something is coming our way. I can feel when the opposition is falling apart. And what we have to do between now and election day, over the next 2 weeks, is to stay focused, support the party in its activities, organize in your family and community for everybody who is supporting Labour to come out to vote and go and vote early, and to encourage your friends who are supporting the NDP that the NDP is going to lose this election very big. They're going to lose it very big. And it does not make sense for them to be in the opposition. Because being in the opposition can't help anybody. You have to be in government to do things. And I want to say this to the comrades on the block. Inside of our manifesto, there are several proposals for comrades who are on the block, comrades who have to get involved in business and employment opportunities, in small business, in cultural activities. We're setting up special funding arrangements through Petrocarib. We have a section on that in our manifesto. And I want to say to everybody, and I say this to the comrades on the block and everybody here, if you think that government is difficult, try opposition. And you need to be on the winning side to be able to participate properly in the governance of the country and to get things done for your community, for yourself and your families, which is what this business is about. So don't for one moment find yourself on the losing side when you have a government which has been doing so well in difficult circumstances. I want that point to sink in. The ULP is going to win this election. We are going to win it between comfortably and overwhelmingly. But this does not mean that you must take it for granted. Every single one of you must go out and vote early, and get your families to go out and your friends. And I repeat, let the NDP persons who are close to you say, listen to me, it does not make sense. They are losing. Don't stay with them. Come on and be with the Unity Labour Party bandwagon.
We only campaign and vote back ULP again.
I want to show you how they're falling apart. I'm not going to talk to you tonight about policies. I've spoken to you a lot about that thus far. And Jomo and Debbie would have spoken to you about some of those. And Luke will talk to you about some of those too. And you have heard me in several speeches on the major issues for the development of the country and the creation of 9,000 new jobs in 5 years. All the big projects and all the investment, the foreign direct investment and all what the state is to do. In all areas of activity. I want to show you how the NDP campaign is falling apart. First of all, Eustace said that it is not true that the ULP started the economically disadvantaged student loan program. He said that the NDP started it. He said they started it since 1997. And he was involved in that even though he was not in parliament. No, it is just a total falsehood. I am not saying that Eustace spoke a deliberate lie. It's something worse than that. Eustace's brain is in a particular situation now that his brain is not properly connecting with the mouth. I am not disparaging him because I'm saying that he could not have told such a deliberate lie. But for him to have spoken such a falsehood, for you to speak such a falsehood not deliberately, it must mean that something wrong is happening here in the connection between here and your mouth. Which is worse. Which is way, way worse. I will tell you this. No. He's not crazy. No, he's not crazy. I'm not saying that. I am just saying that something is happening inside of his head where he's falling apart. That he's believing that certain things happened when they didn't happen. And he's speaking about them and calling me a liar. The fact of the matter is that this government and this prime minister is the one which initiated the economically disadvantaged student loan program. And between 2002 when we initiated it and now, it's $90 million that I have guaranteed for students. Before ULP in government, students would get loans, but you had to get somebody to stand security for you, your mommy, your daddy, your granny, your friend. If you had property, you had a bank account to stand security and borrow the money in the normal way people borrowed money. But it's only since our time that economically disadvantaged students can borrow up to $120,000 for the regular science and other courses. For medicine is $148,000. For law is $133,000. The first person who got one of these loans, where I signed as guarantor, that if you don't pay, the government will pay, is the daughter of a blackfish vendor in Barley. She had entry qualifications, the daughter, to go to university. But her mother didn't have anything to stand security, so she couldn't go. is because this program came, why she got on. And she's the first one. And her mother brought her to say thanks. And when her mother was talking about it, tears came down her mother's eyes. Tears came down the young lady's eyes. And in those circumstances, I'm a softie. My eyes well up with tears too. And they come down. I had to tell them go into the bathroom to wash the face and dry the face. I am telling you what actually happened, so that because I've been so involved in this, to hear a man talk something like that and say that I am lying. And I will not say that Eustace is lying. I don't believe he would have told a deliberate lie. But on that matter, because it's so easy to refute it, that's why I'm saying there's something worse. Something is happening inside of his head. And he's falling apart. And the head is not connecting with the mouth. That's the point I want to make. Now, the second thing, while you know they're falling apart, in the manifesto, Eustace said that they would not have the airport until 2020. The earliest. He now say is 2017. They're making up things as they go along because they're under pressure. You over is what I'm talking to you about? And look, Eustace also complained in Parliament that this nursing program which we have, where we are the only country in the world give a free nursing education and pay $1,000 to the students to attend nursing school. He opposed it in Parliament. But now he's saying, he said, I will do better than that. I will give them $250 more. That ain't in the manifesto at all. But you know why he's saying those things? Because I have delivered 3 or 4 speeches over the last few days, drawing blood from him, metaphorically, where I have said that because he's committed to austerity, to balance the budget as he said in his manifesto, in 3 years and create a surplus, he will have to cut, and cut. Because he said that he will go for austerity. He has it in his manifesto. I didn't say it, you know. And he had said in Parliament that austerity is a good idea. He said, what's wrong with austerity? And I told him, in the circumstances of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, austerity is a wrong and dangerous idea. And in order for him to balance the budget within 3 years and with a surplus, he has to cut a lot of things. He had to cut public assistance. He had to cut public servants. Reduce the numbers, and policemen, and nurses, and teachers. Do without the YES program, the SET program, the housing program. You was complaining about the housing program just tonight on television. And the materials. But all of a sudden, because I'm banging him on it, and he's feeling the pressure, he's making up things as he's going along now. Say he will add $250 to the nursing money. Well, I have 81 students this year. For him to put $250, he will bring the number down to 20, which they used to do long ago. You understand what I mean? He will say, I keep the promise of $250 additional. But you only 20 he bring in. You over what I'm saying to you. He'll play sleight of hand. But all those things tell me he's under pressure. Also, he's gone on television and say, I am not for austerity. When in fact, he has it in his manifesto. Since he published his manifesto, and within 1 week, he is disowning his own manifesto. He's disowning it. Now, you notice Eustace is getting on so strangely. You see a film with Eustace, you might see it on YouTube, where Eustace dancing. Well, let me put it this way. He is making some moves which one may at a stretch define it as a dance. He's moving. And then this morning, I heard Daniel Cummins on Bing radio station. He said so many outrageous things. He said that the commissioner of police is a jackass. He said that the supervisor of elections must take herself off her backside and do her work. And why he cussed the supervisor of elections? He cussed her because he said the list came out too late for the polling stations. But he doesn't understand. The supervisor of elections is bound by the law. And you can only name the polling stations after the election writ is issued, after Parliament is dissolved and the election writ is issued. That's how it has been since universal adult suffrage in 1951. And then he cursed. He caused Richard Nichols. Said she was a bad secretary, she was inefficient, she did not come for money. Caused a real stink, you know. He gone. He threw word at my daughter. Why? Because my daughter defends Papa. I mean, I just don't understand. He take a turn on Hugh Raggy. The man was just cursing, abusing everybody. I have never seen anybody under so much pressure. Bing asked him about the airport. He says he's the man, the point, not the airport, the hospital. Bing said to him, how many rooms this hospital would have? He said, I don't know, I can't remember. But I could tell you ours is 130. Modern referral hospital working in tandem with a modernized Milton Keaton Memorial, which has 206 beds. I can tell you exactly what we are doing. We have a plan. He said that the World Bank, they asked him how you'll finance it. He said the World Bank and the IMF. The IMF doesn't finance hospitals, nor roads. That's not the function of the International Monetary Fund. They assist you on the external account so that if you have a fiscal problem, they can come to help you to shore it up. If you lose foreign exchange because of a disaster or because the meltdown in the world economy, things like that. That's what the World Bank is there for. Then he said, a bird tell him that we have $64 million US for the hospital. We don't have any money put aside for the hospital. What the World Bank said to us, they select the site at Arnesville, 8 acres there. They say they finance the selection of the site. They finance a consultancy. They finance also the design. They said they will pay for the design. And they said to me, Ralph, we will talk to you about financing it, but we haven't come to any conclusion yet. The money which the World Bank, the bulk of the money which the World Bank, we had negotiated with the World Bank, is money as a result of the natural disaster in 2013. It's about $105 million to build bridges and roads and sea defense and river defense. And just the day before election, I organized $17 million from the soft window of the World Bank, the International Development Association, for a number of matters, including education, some matters in health, but not for airport, not for hospital, some issues concerning social security, some issues concerning regional integration. That's the money I organize. I mean, I could tell you where I am getting money to do certain things. Vinette Frederick had said they're getting the money from PAHO. PAHO doesn't finance hospitals. They said they're getting the money from the European Union. The European Union just financing us under the 10th European Development Fund, $34 million to fix up the hospital along the Milton Keaton Memorial Hospital, to build over the mental health center, to build 2 polyclinics, one in Bucament and one in Mespo, and some other facilities. I mean, these fellas are just all over the place, talking bare foolishness and cursing people. Then Leacock, what do you say about a man who says that too many is bothered because too many young people following ULP? Well, young people following ULP because ULP has policies for young people and they see a future with the ULP. And he said that he's bothered that too many black people following the ULP. The ULP is not a white people party. The ULP belongs to everybody in St. Vincent and Grenadines. We don't have race in this country. You know, I mean, when you see men behaving like that, you know they're falling apart. And it's almost like each man for themselves. Then Shara Batiste in Beckway says, well, they say we don't have any woman candidate. Well, we don't need no woman candidate because woman following us. I mean, when you hear people talking like that, you know that they are in a meltdown. They are in a meltdown. So I come here to say, Luke Brown is a man who listens, who sees, who is bright, who has love in his heart, who has a lot of energy. And look, do something for the future, East Kingston. I'm asking you. Don't tie yourself to the past. Eustace is yesterday's politician. Even the campaign which he's leading, hiring some fellas who just love rum to mark up the road and uglify the place. A kind of 20th century politics in the age of the internet, social media, beautiful billboards, radio, television, involving nasty up and uglifying the country. I mean, really, Eustace doesn't have one new idea. And this election is about ideas and policies and programs. Please, look, I need Luke in the cabinet. I need him in the cabinet. I need him in the parliament as a representative, an elected representative. And once you are focused, you can help to elect him. And Luke is interested in organizing the brethren and the sisters on the block, working with them on an organized basis to bring them along. It's not an easy challenge in a developing country with limited resources. But you have seen his work. Luke has worked so hard over the last 5 years. You can't tell me that you're not rewarding him. Eustace, on the other hand, is absolutely nothing.
Captain out, all man out.
Look, I'm asking East Kingston to be in the winning column. Remember this, I'm telling you. You can't do anything if you're in opposition. And the 8 seats which we have now, I am telling you, no person from the NDP running can get close to any of those 8 seats. And then we are taking North Leeward and South Leeward. And I am telling you, they are on the run in Kingston, and we are in a position to take all the Kingston seats. and to take the Southern Grenadines. And I going down Beckwith tomorrow. And I'm telling you, we have to make sure that we put a strength in the Northern Grenadines also. And the young people and older folk are responding because we have the accomplishments, we have the vision, we have the policies and the plans.